Hi, I'm Isabel.
And I'm Mia.
And we're TechGirlz.
Stay tuned to find out how TechGirlz is helping us become future leaders in technology.
On this week's episode of Future Leaders in Philadelphia.
Hello, and welcome to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. We bring you this show in order to highlight young people in our community along with local organizations who are striving to make Philadelphia a better place. We want to focus on our next generation of leaders. On today's episode, we're talking with members of the nonprofit organization TechGirlz. This group works to reduce the gender gap in technology occupations by introducing middle school aged girls to the various tech fields. TechGirlz hopes to empower these young girls to be our future technology leaders. In our first segment, I'll talk with two members who help run TechGirlz. Then later in the program, I'll be joined by two girls who have not only participated in the program, but are now working to improve the group by serving on its teen advisory board. To begin our show, I welcome TechGirlz National Outreach Manager, Sarah Johnson, and Webmaster and Camp Director, Becca Refford. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So, Regional Manager, that's a pretty big title, right?
So I started out managing TechGirlz in Philadelphia and helping people run workshops for middle school girls there last year. And this year, my title has shifted to National Outreach Manager as we grow and help to empower girls in other cities.
So when you say national, give me an idea of how big.
Well, we have a lot of volunteers working in the Raleigh-Durham area to run workshops monthly. They've been doing that for 2 years. And we've had some workshops happen in Chicago, Tennessee, Massachusetts, and California. There's no limit. Besides nationally, we're also having workshops run globally as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So tell us about the group TechGirlz. What's that about?
It's a nonprofit that helps people run workshops about technology to give girls hands-on experience and help inspire them to explore the possibilities of technology. We have workshops for about 15 to 20 girls at a time. They're each an introduction to a different technology topic, and we have over 35 different workshop topics that are run.
So give me an example of some of the topics.
Some of the topics are making a website with HTML and CSS, making a website with WordPress, but also things like designing mobile apps, designing the user experience, what's inside a computer,
Right.
installing Linux, anything that we can get professionals in the industry to create a workshop about.
That's great.
We're also really interested in showing girls the intersection of tech and other things. So some of the workshops are graphic design related. We even have one that's digital knitting. So we just want to show them that whatever you're into, whether it's crafty or whether
Right.
it's arty, there's a spot in tech for you.
So I never heard of the term digital knitting. So
Yeah.
explain that a little bit.
It's a, how do you describe it? It's this monstrous printer where the girls essentially draft up these designs and they send it to this printer and it prints. Am I describing this properly?
Yeah, and we've also taken that workshop topic and applied the principles of programming, taking pieces of code and repeating them over and over to create a repeatable pattern, and using JavaScript as an analogy for knitting.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Who's your target audience?
It's middle school girls in grades 6, 7, and 8.
So after 8th grade, you can't get in?
So there are other groups that are targeted for older women, like Girl Develop It is definitely one to name, but we found that girls were checking out at a certain age,
Right.
so we wanted to grab them and like catch their interest before they decided, tech's not for me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. So what do you think is the reason for them checking out so early?
There's a lot of things that people cite, whether it's teaching code and teaching computer science and STEM topics in an isolated environment without giving that context of, you know, you're learning about code to make graphics so that you can draw on a computer.
Right.
You know, it doesn't always grab girls in the same way that it might grab boys.
I got you. So you have a lot of workshops, programs. How are your workshops taught?
We have a lead instructor and a couple of people giving hands-on assistance during the workshop. And the lead instructor, we started out with volunteers from the industry, so people working in technology taking a couple of hours to volunteer to lead a workshop. But it's grown to so much more these days.
And I think kind of going back to your question of like, why do these, you know, why are girls checking out at a certain age? And I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of role models.
Right.
So one of the pieces of our workshops is that we get these local leaders in there and we show girls, look, this is someone who's working in the field right now. Like, this is an idea of their day to day. This is something that they're using every day. And I really think that that helps them sort of model and also like see, I don't know, put a face to it, I guess,
true,
which is
right.
important.
You can visualize it better
Exactly.
if you have an example.
Exactly.
And so what we've grown from now is starting with professionals in the field. We've expanded it to include college students and even some high school students who've just learned these skills and are so passionate about technology and enjoy it so much that they want to turn around and share it with somebody who doesn't know about it yet.
So I was looking at your website and I noticed not only do you have workshops, but you have camps. So what's the difference between a workshop and a camp? And are the camps run the same way as the workshops?
Workshops are like bite-sized versions of camp, and they're more technical focused.
Right.
Camp is a group of girls come together, and there's this thing we call pre-camp, and they sort of sit down and they brainstorm and they come up with an idea, whether it's like an app or a product that they want to take off the ground. So the week of camp, they take that idea and they turn it into something.
That's
and
great.
camp is a week versus 3-hour workshops, which is what we run on Saturdays or, you know,
Yeah.
all days of the week now.
So you're the camp director, right?
Yeah.
So how do you recruit for the camp?
We have a selection process. So we open up applications and we usually accept around 25 girls or so, and we work with them the whole week.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You were saying?
A similarity between camp and the workshops is that once we run a workshop, or now that we've done camp a few years, and the girls have said that they enjoyed it, we've published the curriculum that we use for it so that anybody can use it to run a workshop or run a camp in their own community.
So the person that wants to run a workshop, do they have to have a technology background? Or if someone is just interested in helping young children, can they run a workshop?
So you need an instructor who can work through the content of the workshop and explain it as they, you know, share that
Right,
topic.
that's right.
But we indicate on the curriculum what level of expertise we think the instructor needs. So it can be a beginner in that topic,
Okay,
someone
great.
who's just learned HTML and CSS. As long as you can follow the curriculum of the
Right,
workshop and
right.
explain what you're doing, you can go ahead and lead, and that's how these high school students are able to be leaders of a workshop.
And
Yeah,
there's
'cause
no
it
better
makes
way to
them better.
learn than to teach.
Yeah.
That's
which
right,
is-
it makes them better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I know this is what everybody wants to know. This is the big question.
Uh-oh.
How much does it cost?
That's
Free.
the best answer.
Yeah, it's free.
That's the best answer.
Yep.
So if it's free, how do you run your camps and workshops? It's free, doesn't cost anyone. How do you raise money? Can people donate, or what's
We
the process for that?
absolutely accept donations on our website from individuals, but we rely on a lot of corporate grants.
Great.
The companies are really investing in the future and helping to inspire that passion for tech that will create that future workforce for them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So share with us at least 1 or 2 success stories that you have from girls participating in your camps and workshops.
So the first one that comes to mind for me always is a girl named Angel. She was with us from our very, very, very first workshop. She was with us until she aged out of the program a little bit, and then she started coming back around and like teaching some workshops.
Right.
And that sort of just snowballed into her helping with the website, and now she makes graphics for us. And Just at camp this year, she was one of our developers. So we have developers come in and help the girls, actually prototype their app ideas and bring it to life. So she was the developer for those girls. She's using her HTML, her CSS, her JavaScript skills and bringing an app to life. It was wild.
Your story?
I work a lot with the volunteers. So what I really like is, and on a national scale, it's more people outside of Philadelphia. So occasionally we get people from rural areas, not from a city where there's a lot happening in tech. And they contact us and they're like, I don't know anyone in my community and I really want to help. I really like technology. And so helping them put on a workshop connects them to their community. There's a woman who had just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina and doesn't know anyone and is now going to find some colleagues and put together a workshop.
So both of you seem passionate about this. So what do you gain from giving these workshops and camps?
You first.
Hopefully you can see from my smile, it's just really fun to inspire other people and to share something that you enjoy and see them get that spark and understand like, oh, this is something I can do. This is something I understand. Whether they're opening up a computer and saying, oh, that's what's inside a computer. It's just these things, or I did that. Look at that page that I created. I learned technology after college. I learned HTML and CSS first and databases, and I felt like the world suddenly made sense. And I'd never learned about any of that in school.
Wow.
So you need that first person to say, check this out, you can do this.
Kind of introduce it to you.
Yeah.
I don't know, my biggest thing is just the energy. Like at camp, when you walk in that room, these girls they're just like chattering and they're dreaming and they're brainstorming and like they're nonstop. And that energy just like gets me going. I guess another thing too is to watch these girls find peers and friends who are also interested in what they're interested in. Growing up, I sort of felt like I had my little, MySpace blog that I was like trying to get the glitter text on, and that was it. Like I didn't have friends I could talk to about that, but these girls through these programs meet those networks of friends, and I don't know, it's really neat.
So you have a website, and I know you have a Twitter page. So share with the audience how they can get in contact with you.
So, do you want to share your website?
Yeah, sure. So if you visit www.techgirlz.org, we rolled out the new website about a year or so ago, and that's where you're going to find all of your free workshop plans. That's where you're going to find all the upcoming events that are coming up, a little bit of everything.
And sign up as a volunteer there.
Yep.
Great.
We're also on Twitter, TechGirlz.org, and Facebook, TechGirlz.org.
Right. Instagram?
Yep, Instagram. And we have some of our teenage volunteers helping out with content on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on the show. I think you've added some value to the program because a lot of, like you said, girls aren't thinking about technology, and this gives them a great opportunity. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Next, we're going to hear from two tech girls who have attended tech shops and now serve on the group's advisory board. But before we do, take a look at LaSalle's TV's recent collaboration with TechGirlz.
On October 8th, 2016, we hosted a TechGirlz workshop in the LaSalle TV studio. After a tour and overview of all the jobs and positions needed to put on a show, the TechGirlz set out to tape an episode of one of LaSalle TV's most popular programs, Backstage Pass. With a little bit of help from some of the LaSalle TV student producers, each girl had the opportunity to perform several different tasks around the studio, such as working the soundboard, camera blocking, and floor directing.
I've never done anything like this before. I got to control the cameras, and that was amazing. And it was cool just putting on the headphones and actually being in a situation that you've seen on TV all the time.
The TechGirlz also had the opportunity to tape several different segments that did air on LaSalle TV programs. We hope we piqued their interest and maybe even landed ourselves some future LTV hosts.
I think this actually might have been my favorite TechGirlz event.
Stay tuned after this short break for more about TechGirlz.
is learning how to code or make video games and websites.
Not only can you post videos online, you can make your own.
It's learning about leadership.
Together we are TechGirlz.
Welcome back to Future Leaders in Philadelphia. I'm your host, Derrick Sawyer. Today we're highlighting members of TechGirlz, a group that works to reduce the gender gap in technology occupations. Right now we have 2 students who have participated in TechGirlz programs and now sit on their teen advisory board. Please welcome Andy Grice and Sarah Saeed. Welcome to the show.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
How are you?
Good.
So TechGirlz, how old are you?
Yeah, so I'm 16 years old. I'm a junior at the Baldwin School.
Nice.
I'm 17 years old and I'm homeschooled.
Okay, so how long have you both been part of TechGirlz?
Yeah, so I've been participating in the organization since 6th grade, so about 5 years now.
So you're a professional.
Basically.
Great. And you?
I've been volunteering since last summer.
Last summer?
Not this past summer, the summer before that, sorry.
So you enjoying it?
Yeah. It's a really great experience to be able to go in and share the knowledge I have and really empower these girls through teaching them these skills.
So how do you both hear about the program?
So my mom actually signed me up for the TechGirlz Entrepreneurship Innovation Summer Camp, and I enjoyed it so much that I kept coming back and participating in their workshops, and that's kind of how my interest in the organization stemmed from.
Great. So when she signed you up, were you excited, or at first were you like, I don't want to do this? Or?
I was a little unsure of it. I always had an interest, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur in 6th grade when I was older. But as a kid, I always had a little bit of an interest in coding and technology. But when I attended these coding camps, I noticed I was one of the few girls there, and that definitely turned me off, and I was a little intimidated, so I wasn't sure going in. But getting to be a part of this camp and realizing that there is a group of girls out there that are interested in technology really helped me to realize my passion for it.
That's great. And you?
I think my mom heard about the workshops and heard that they were looking for volunteers to be TAs, or teaching assistants. And so she said, you should go try being a teaching assistant at one of these workshops. And so I went and I loved it.
Great.
And I just kept coming back and volunteering for stuff.
So what have you learned while being a part of the program?
I've learned so much from being a part of the program. Participating in these workshops really allowed me to realize just how much I enjoyed computer science and allowed me to see what exactly I was interested in, because they offer so many different workshops with such a variety. You really understand how diverse of a field technology is. They have app design to cybersecurity to fashion and technology, and also being able to teach workshops and help out with that. I've been doing that more recently. Last year I created a workshop, the graphics and animations with Python, and that actually allowed me to become more knowledgeable about technology.
Great.
I would say it's pretty much the same thing for me, just learning more about the breadth of technology and how it interacts with other fields, and also getting teaching experience and things like that.
So what are some of the programs that you participated in before you started teaching?
I attended a lot of their workshops. I went to some at Microsoft near me. I went to some in the city. I said I went to the camp. So, yeah.
I didn't hear about TechGirlz until I was in high school, so I unfortunately didn't get to participate in any of the workshops.
Okay. So how has being a part of TechGirlz changed your opinion about technology, or has it changed your opinion about technology?
Well, I feel like I was pretty set on computer science before I started volunteering with TechGirlz,
Right.
but it's really given me a lot more confidence in learning things and just thinking, yeah, I can go out and do that.
Right. And you?
For me, I had a little bit of interest in technology and computer science, but I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to pursue it. Personally, as I said, like, it was hard being in such a male-dominated field, and a lot of my friends necessarily weren't interested in it. But being a part of the workshops and helping out with the organization made me realize that this is something I definitely want to do in my future.
So what are your plans when you grow up? What do you want to do as far as, I know you want to be an entrepreneur, so what would you do?
I don't know exactly what I want to do still. I'm thinking about engineering or computer science for college, but I know that no matter what, technology is going to be a big part of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to do what?
I'm definitely planning on majoring in computer science or maybe some sort of engineering.
Great.
That's where I hope to go into. And also, like Sarah said, entrepreneurship is definitely something I want to be in my future.
So how does it feel to be on an advisory board at such a young age? Because that's a big role, and it gives you a chance to exercise leadership at a young age and actually influence the TechGirlz program and influence technology going forward, right? Yeah. So tell me how that impacts you. How does it feel?
Well, I think one of the missions of the Teen Advisory Board is to give high school girls like us a voice in the programs that we're running for these middle schoolers. So anything I wanted to see when I was in middle school, we can help implement. One of our goals is to create our own tech shop for this coming school year. And all of us will be helping out, running these workshops and teaching them to help act as like mentors for these girls.
Right.
Me personally, I had a really big interest in helping out with the social media platforms for the organization, so that a lot of the interest for these tech shops come from the girls themselves, like Instagram and stuff are really big on the younger end.
Right.
I think it's a really great opportunity. I mean, in addition to all of the stuff Sarah said, I think it's a great opportunity to not necessarily be able to reach out more, but to feel like, you know, I get the opportunity to interact with a lot more people and to really encourage more people to come be volunteers.
So what's your favorite TechGirl story? That you can share. You probably have a lot of stories that you might not be able to share.
Well, what's really been interesting and encouraging to me is I've taught and TA'd at a lot of workshops. I was one of the counselors for the summer camp this summer, and just seeing girls come back again and again to workshops,
right.
And you know, seeing that they have continued interest and that they're continuing to pursue the field of technology and to learn. That's something that's been really encouraging to me.
Great. So what's your favorite story?
I know sometimes when I'm like coding or doing something technology related, it can be really frustrating when you're trying to debug something or solve an issue. And sometimes seeing the light bulb go off in the girl's head when they realize like, oh, this is how I solve the problem or something, it's really great. And you can see just how interested they are and like how exciting it is for them.
So you talked about coding. What exactly is coding? Because I know I hear about coding, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So tell us what coding is about.
Coding is really the ability to create whatever you want on the computer. You can make anything you can imagine, and that's one of the things I love about it most.
Yes, that sounds exciting. So how challenging is it to learn how to code?
It's actually a lot simpler than people expect. There's so many great things online you can do to help code, like Scratch is a really great basic programming language, and they just get more complex and more complex. Anyone can learn to code. You just got to start with the basics.
Gotcha. So what's your favorite technology? So she talked about coding. What's your favorite?
Well, I really enjoy coding as well. I'm also interested in doing mobile app design and development,
right.
Which the development, a lot of that is coding, but you also have to bring in graphic design principles and UI design principles to really make your to really make a complete app. And that's something that I find really fascinating, getting to bring together all of these disciplines and put them all to use in one project.
So what type of applications would you design?
I'm interested in doing like learning apps, apps to help with education, ones that are fun but that also teach you.
Right.
That's something that I'm really interested in doing.
There's a huge market for that also.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give to the young ladies coming up about technology, and they're interested in technology? What advice would you give them? So if they're looking up to you as a future leader or somebody they admire, and they say, I'm interested in technology, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, so as I said, sometimes technology can be frustrating, or it can be kind of discouraging when you realize that you're in such a male-dominated field. There's only about 29% of the women are in the IT field. And I think you should, if you have a passion for technology and an interest in it, you should definitely pursue it and not let that stop you. There actually is a lot of girls out there that are interested in it, and TechGirlz was the organization that allowed me to realize that there are people out there who are interested too, and we just have to assemble them together.
Right.
I would say, if you're interested in technology, you may be considering it, see if there's somewhere where technology intersects with the field that you're interested in. There's technology in pretty much everything.
That's true.
And if you're interested in technology, chances are pretty good that there is some technological aspect to whatever you're already interested in.
Right, right. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on and sharing what you've learned about technology. Thank you for being a motivation for the young girls that are interested in technology, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank all of our guests from TechGirlz. If you would like to find out more about this group, you can visit their website at techgirlz.org. Just make sure that girls is spelled with a Z instead of an S. I'm Derrick Sawyer, and thank you for watching Future Leaders in Philadelphia, where we believe in investing in our young is investing in our future.